line is fairly solid looking. Roy, to me, with his experience, has to be the one perhaps to open up the Germans' defence. I think Wone and Stone down the flanks are important, and also the set pieces, because of course the Bayern Munich goalkeeper Oliver Kahn didn't have the best of matches a fortnight ago.
No, but he's in the team again tonight. There are 3 changes from the first leg in the Bayern side. International defender Marcus Babbel is back from injury, but Jurgen Klinsmann's main strike partner has changed, and it's a surprise recall for Jean-Pierre Papin, the former European Footballer of the Year and famous French international. He replaces the injured Alexander Zickler. Klinsmann, by the way, has 12 goals in 7 UEFA games, but he's also one of 7 Bayern players on 1 yellow card. The Austrian Andy Herzog, wearing number 6, gets the vote over Christian Nerlinger.
There's no great surprise there. Nerlinger was very quiet. Herzog takes his place on the left side of midfield there. Number 7, Scholl, I thought was the best player on the pitch 2 weeks ago, so I think Forest have to be very aware of him. He's the one for midfield that joins the front 2. And of course, Papin, great name from the past. What his current form is like, we wait and see, but he and Klinsmann are very potent attacking force.
Jean-Pierre Papin then recalled to play alongside the man whose impact here last season was known to everybody, most of all Tottenham fans. There are 2,000 supporters from Germany in the crowd. They were queuing long before the kickoff, lending a good flavour to the evening. And just a word as far as kickoff, there will be no Andy Solenzi on the bench tonight. Frank Clark couldn't fit him in because the 3 foreigners rule still applies by general agreement between the clubs until the end of this season. A reminder too, perhaps more important, that Forest, as Desmond Lynam said, do have an away goal. A 1-0 win would send them through. The only way we can have extra time tonight is if Forest win 2-1, just as Bayern did in Munich, over 90 minutes. Brian Roy will be playing behind Kevin Campbell, and Campbell got the first flick on. Bayern Munich all in white, playing from right to left. They too will look for an away goal. Here's Klinsmann. Stuart Pearce waiting for the goalkeeper.
Well, we've been here for 1 or 2 FA Cup ties and European nights. I must say this is, for me, the best atmosphere of the whole season. It certainly turned out in force to home supporters. A wonderful potential European night in store, and of course our only English club. Let's see if Forest can produce the goods.
Yes, we've had some fireworks already, literally. Here's Roy, and that's why you can see smoke billowing across the pitch, perhaps. Here's Steve Stone, won't deter him. Forest, who lost here in the FA Cup last week to Villa, want to make a better start tonight. That was David Phillips. And right underneath the crossbar of Oliver Kahn.
No great surprise, David Phillips wasn't the best of crosses, but I think the early shout from Frank Clark was, let's put some early ones into that penalty area just to see how the goalkeeper is feeling confidence-wise this evening.
Brian Roy. 10 is Ian Wone. Klinsmann with Pearce. And a foot up there from Jean-Pierre Papin. Now Cooper. This is Christian Ziege, the international left-sided wing-back. Good ball too to Sforza, the Swiss international, at number 8. And that's come off Cooper, and Crossley has to deal with it without picking it up.
That was quite casual, wasn't it? Colin Cooper was a very heavy touch, a little bit stronger, and Crossley could have been in serious trouble, but he dealt with it well.
There's Roy. Bart Williams is square, and he missed him out. That's Sforza, now Bart Williams. Papin. This is Herzog, who scored on Saturday in the Bundesliga against Kaiserslautern. Match which Bayern Munich won 2-0, watched by Frank Clark's assistant Alan Hill. In fact, he's almost almost got a season ticket for Munich for the Olympic Stadium, Alan Hill. He's seen Bayern play so many times in the build-up to these two matches. Forest have certainly done their homework. Klinsmann. Lothar Matthäus at the back. All week in Germany there's been talk of a row between Matthäus and Klinsmann. It's made headline news on television, radio, newspapers. And we asked Klinsmann about it before the game, and he said, well, it's been blown up a little bit out of proportion, but he challenged me to a debate on television, and I said that was ridiculous for two teammates. Here's Babel for Bayern. And making a good run here, Andy Herzog. It came off Des Little. Stone. Ian Woan. Stone's now gone through the centre. Just a touch from Brian Roy, and a neat one too. Jinking his way through here. Great run by Roy. Looks for, oh, he didn't look for Campbell. He got caught between in two minds, I think. This is Sforza. And now Mehmet Scholl. Good pace to this match early on. Thomas Struntz for Bayern. Scholl's got Klinsmann inside him here, and the return ball is meant for Scholl. That was Pearce. And this is Scholl. Pearce got himself into a corner there. Touch by Sforza. This is Struntz. Klinsmann going towards the far post now. Dangerous. Des Little, the defender. Klinsmann's header back in. Two markers and a sweeper at the back for the Munich side. One of the markers is Thomas Helmer, and this is Christian Ziege. There's Matthäus. He doesn't come out of that position too often these days.
Well, it's a good start, I thought, for the visitors, Bayern Munich. They're getting men forward from midfield. Klinsmann up there, almost isolated. Then Papa going from the right-hand side. Herzog, number 6, and Scholl coming through from midfield as well. And it's difficult for Nottingham Forest at the moment to pick them up. And I think sort of the visitors made them better than the starts.
Klinsmann with two defenders there shadowing him. Here's Stone. Forest have to go for a goal. Of course, 0-0 here would put Bayern Munich through on that 2-1 aggregate. So it, in a sense, couldn't be better balanced this second leg. This is David Phillips for Forest to Woan. Roy. Ziege. Ziege again. He can't raid too much, Christian Ziege, without being aware that Steve Stone is his immediate opponent for Forest. Woan now looks up and picks out, nearly picked out Stone via Brian Roy. And this is Marcus Babel. Scholl. Matthäus. Sforza. Ziege. Matthäus again. 2 or 3 quick little steps, and rather the same as at the other end for the goalkeeper.
You can see how Bayern Munich have won their 3 away ties, though. They are happy to put forward people in numbers, put pressure on the home defence. Forest have got to get the balance, haven't they? The blend between going to get that goal and making sure they don't concede, because if they do concede the goal, then suddenly they have to get, well, at least 2 and possibly the 3.
Kevin Campbell working well. This is Stone. Going at Ziege, he's beaten him. Roy and Campbell waiting in the middle, cleared by Helmer. As far as Des Little. In again by Phillips. Chettle with the header. Then Wone. This is Roy. Babel. Roy again. Now Campbell. Stone tries to get hold of it. Sforza. Always a dangerous run here by Jean-Pierre Papin. Huge roar goes up every time Forest get possession. As Trevor said, the atmosphere reminds you of those great European nights here in the late 70s and early 80s when Forest were twice European champions under Brian Clough and Peter Taylor. That's a free kick. Babel was the man fouled by Roy. In fact, Babel is aptly named because there's plenty of that in the ground tonight. Fans really making themselves heard. Sforza picking it up deep for Bayern and finding Scholl. Ziege makes a forward run. Klinsmann in the centre, being joined by Papin. Well, that must have been a good shout by Mark Crossley.
A late decision, wasn't it, by Colin Cooper? He must have got the shout, but sometimes when you leave it that late, Ziege did well to keep it in. It was a bit overhit by Scholl on the turn, which is saying the near post, going to kick it away and got his body right behind it.
Cooper's presence always important to Nottingham Forest. He was missed when he was suspended and injured recently. There's Helmer marking Campbell. Now Herzog. Free kick to the Germans. The referee is from Italy, Piero Cesarini, and he has two Italian linesmen. Sforza. Herzog. Scholl. Progressive play by Herzog. It's what perhaps they lacked a bit in the first match. That's Ziege's cross. Didn't inject a great deal of pace in their game at times in the first match, Bayern, and Forest came away believing that they paid them a bit too much respect. As this second leg unfolds, we'll see what happens when the home advantage is reversed. Mateus a busy man as Forest push forward. Stone. And again, should be named in the England squad tomorrow, Steve Stone. And here's the Austrian, Herzog, to Babel. Papin, the man running between the two defenders. That was in the European Championships last time round, 1992, that Papin was a focal point of the French team, and indeed he was European Player of the Year in that particular year. Here's Stuart Pearce. Wone. Bart Williams finding Pearce again. Stone. In by Wone. Oh, and here's a chance for Brian Roy. Seemed to do the hard part and then didn't get hold of the shot properly.
Well, it was a wonderful bit of skill because there weren't many options once the cross came in from Ian Bone. Was missed then at the near post by Campbell. Roy on his side, over the head of his marker, and it is there for the half volley, but he scuffs it. Did all the hard work, as you say.
Promising opening, though, for Forest. Should encourage them a bit. Here's Phillips. Roy again. Looking very dangerous. That's a better one.
He looks fired up for this game. Hasn't had the best of seasons. I think he's missed his old mate Stan Collymore this season. In the last couple of weeks, just starting to show the form we know he's capable of. That one, just getting underneath it. But I know he is still interested in making Euro 96 and might even be prepared to play on the left-hand side for the Dutch team. That'd make him even better, wouldn't it?
Yes, They are favourites in many people's eyes, aren't they, Holland? Bayern, in a sense, don't have to hurry, because while that score on the screen there says 0-0, they still have the overall advantage, as you can see, in the time. But at the moment, it's all Forest. It's Wone to Roy. Now he has got space. He's also got Campbell in the centre. Wone is making it. Stone is further over. It's a good cross to Campbell. Here's Wone.
That was a good break. Kevin Campbell took up a good position at the far post and then just overheaded it, didn't it? Beyond Steve Stone coming in and Ian Wone.
Yes, it was a beautifully delivered ball, wasn't it? And Brian Roy has opened up here in tantalising form. Stone, Campbell, free kick, foul by Helmer, his marker. Now this is where Forest were hoping to get some joy tonight. They do believe that Bayern are vulnerable at set plays. It was proved in the first match, and Colin Cooper and Steve Chettle and Steve Pearce are all going forward.
Interested, Pearce pointed to Ian Wone and told him to go over, so he's letting Wone take it from this position. I think hoping for an action replay of the FA Cup.
Yes, scored against Spurs from here, or nearly. Oh, and Pearce came in fact, on the end of it.
Well, they did look vulnerable, didn't they? That was an excellent free kick. Just needed the faintest of touches, but the German defence just got it away. I noticed the goalkeeper didn't come for it, did he? No,
David Phillips will take the corner. They've got Campbell in the near post position and Chettle. Cooper got balked as he went for that. There was a loud cry from behind the goal. Stone. That's a good ball too to Brian Roy. Fired across. Oof. Forest piling it on. Corner. Roy will take it. Pearce stays forward, so does Cooper. Stone got a flick on that. This is Stuart Pearce. Off the line, oh, and Stone couldn't quite reach the rebound, and they're clattering each other in there. It's a free kick, and the referee on the spot to sort it out. But that was mighty close for Stuart Pearce, the captain.
Well, that was desperately unlucky, wasn't it? Again, look, nobody getting the cross. One touch, hits a shot, and it's the number 4 who saves it on the line there. Struntz it is. Good save, didn't touch his hand. I wondered if it hit his arm, but I think you'll find it hit him in the midriff.
Also, Jurgen Klinsmann is back there helping in defence, look, when this comes across from Pearce. Struntz is the man who clears it, as you say. Klinsmann on the line as well. That's how besieged Bayern are at the moment. Bart Williams. Free kick to Forest. This was the sort of bold, imaginative start that Frank Clark's team were looking for.
The last few minutes they put on a lot of pressure, got men forward into the penalty area and put in some crosses, and definitely the German defence hadn't dealt with them well.
Kahn certainly grateful for the men behind him on the Pearce effort. This is coming towards Chettle now. There's Wone. Was, of course, a free kick which brought Forest that valuable away goal in Munich when everybody missed it apart from Steve Chettle. Here's Ziege. Mateus. Klinsmann tries to link up with Papin, but Forest are tigerish in their tackling. This is Roy, but that's not a good pass. Overhit. The Forest plan tonight partly was to stop Bayern getting the ball to their 2 wide players, the 2 wing-backs, Struntz and Ziege, to almost snap in at source and prevent them from developing attacks, and to get possession back early. And up to now, it's certainly worked in the first 18 minutes. Here's Ziege now. He's very tight to him again, Little, but this time they find Herzog. Helmer's gone forward in this attack. Here he is, number 5. Hooked in towards Jurgen Klinsmann, off the knees of Chettle. Bart Williams jumping with Klinsmann. This is Mehmet Scholl. Good block by Chettle. Well, we have seen some European football this season which has been less than captivating, but nothing wrong with this match. Both teams going at it from the start. This is Mateus. Sforza. There's Klinsmann. Here comes Papin. Klinsmann again. Cooper's in there. Scholl. Support outside him from Struntz. ...1984, the last time an English club got to the semi-finals of the UEFA Cup, and believe it or not, it was Nottingham Forest, along with Tottenham, who went on to beat Forest semi-final conquerors Anderlecht in the final. And plenty of European pedigree, as you know, about Bayern Munich, although it's 20 years since they won one of the major trophies. With them tonight, some of the famous players of that time, like Beckenbauer and Hoeneß. Here's Campbell for Forest. Forces the corner. Well, they've got to be hopeful from these after what happened before. Roy's going to take it. Chettle almost onto the line. Cooper by the penalty spot. Pearce Forest over. Again, that was Steve Stone with the header, and it didn't quite fall for Stuart Pearce either. Now here's Pearce. Now Stone again. Well, that's two narrow squeaks for Bayern Munich, isn't it? The men on the line are being paid overtime, I reckon.
I think that one was just going to miss the far post or hit the outside of the post, but Steve Stone is not the tallest of players, coming in at the near post. He just gets above everyone. I don't think he was quite convinced himself, and on the line he hooked it away, the number 8, didn't he? But I don't think it was going to go in. I think it would have hit the outside of the post.
Well, Sforza was the man who cleared it, but had it gone perhaps half a yard the other way, Stuart Pearce might have finished it off. Here's Mateus. Herzog. A through ball from Wone, quite a thoughtful one into space. Brian Roy shepherded there by Helmer. The Germans playing with the two marking defenders either side of Mateus. That's forward now by Scholl to Papin.
Not figured that prominently, has he, Papin? Always felt, even when he was scoring so many goals for the clubs he was at in France, he was an out-and-out goal scorer. Never actually joined in the build-up play very often, just in the penalty area, sprung to life, tucked the ball into the back of the net, and Bayern wouldn't complain if he did that this evening, although at the moment, Nottingham Forest, for me, deserved to be a goal up.
Had a mixed season, actually, Papin. He's had lots of injury and also family illness, so he hasn't played many matches for Bayern, but here he comes now. Stuart Pearce was the man felled. He was on a challenge with Papin, and he helps him up. Little. Chettle has gone in open play up into the Bayern penalty area for Forest. This is Stone. Little again. Campbell comes near post with the goalkeeper. Where the joining up is so vital to Bayern and so dangerous to Forest. Struntz has made a great run outside Papin. Papin chose to shoot, and his colleague on his right is none too pleased.
He's never going to be forgiven unless he puts the ball in the back of the net. Struntz ran, what, 60, 70 yards. You can see him at the top of the picture there, telling him to hold it up, hold it up. Now give it to me. And Papa says, no thanks. And then Grid dragged the shot very poorly.
He would have been onside as well, the man on the far side, wouldn't he? This is Campbell, Stone. Oh, he's done that well. He's got Rowan to his left. Roy's in the centre, and so is Campbell further over.
No shortage of crosses. Definitely Oliver Kahn is going to be tested throughout this 90 minutes. Hasn't looked convincing, and the defenders in front of him haven't been happy either. But that one was too near him.
Now they're playing a fast, direct game, Nottingham Forest, and I think that's what's called for. They've got to take the initiative, and that they've certainly done as we pass the halfway mark in the first half here, with the aggregate score still 2-1 to Bayern Munich. Quarter-finals of the UEFA Cup. Steve Stone for Forest to Roy. Campbell's on the far side. Stone goes inside. Corner again. Well, they're forcing a flood of them here. Roy will take it again, and the same players coming forward. Cooper.
Well, again, it was a home player. Got his head to it first. Just cleared the defender in front of him. Cooper not quite able to head it down. At the moment, just winning so many balls in that penalty area, Frank Clark must be a bit frustrated that they haven't got that elusive goal, because they've created enough openings to have done so.
Bayern Munich have met English opposition on 10 previous occasions in Europe, won 4 and lost 6. Beaten, of course, in the final of the Champions Cup by Aston Villa in 1982, Bayern Munich. Goal scorer Peter Widd, a former Forest player, but here's a modern one, Steve Stone. Ziege. Sforza. Strunz is making some dangerous runs on the right-hand side, and it seems as if it's partly Ian Woan's responsibility to track back with him.
At some stage he'll want to get released by Stuart Pearce, but if Pearce has got Papa or Klinsmann has come across that side, then Woan has got to come a long way back. But of course, being the home team, he'd be more keener to see Woan making those forward runs. But Strunz ever willing, isn't he? Although at the moment he hasn't got very good service.
And that's no sort of service for Jürgen Klinsmann, is it? Well, should you have joined us a few minutes late, it's been nearly all Forest so far. One off the line, one very close to the line, plenty of corners. And Bayern Munich having to bide their time and wait for the chance to hit Forest on the break. But at the moment, the home side have the initiative. And a free kick taken quickly by Stone to Roy. And another one. It was Andy Herzog who perpetrated the foul and seemed to get the worst of it. Just wondering, this is over 30 yards, isn't it? David Phillips is a player who in his earlier football life has struck them well from here. Ian Woan, of course, we know about recently. That was Phillips, and that was Chettle, and in goes Cooper.
It's amazing, isn't it? 2 headers again. And you could almost see that David Phillips was just going to hang it up in the air, but Steve Chettle gets above Klinsmann, back in there, and Cooper just can't get the power and keep it down. He gets underneath it.
The goalkeeper here also caught in 2 minds, isn't he, whether to come or not? Look. And the header on is offside against Brian Roy. was an emphatic finish, but it won't count. He and the man who supplied that pass, Kevin Campbell, have both got European winners' medals. Campbell was in the Arsenal side that beat Palmer in the Cup Winners' Cup. And this time, the Germans get the free kick against Cooper. And it could be a dangerous position, this. It's Crossley there trying to line his wall up. And the three men round the ball include Ziege there, Scholl walking away, Matthäus is inevitably there.
I don't think Herzog is walking away now nearer the camera. He looked as if he was interested at one stage. Ziege, I think, with his left foot probably would be the favourite.
And that is Ziege. And that's a goal for Bayern Munich. Christian Ziege has scored the away goal for the Germans and put them up on aggregate by 3-1. Mark Crossley disenchanted by what happened there, because as it was touched by Matthäus, Ziege hits it left-footed. I don't think it touched anybody, but it seemed to go under or through Crossley.
Well, he just showing the change in fortunes of the goalkeeper. Penalty shootout hero in the FA Cup. That one just bouncing in front of him underneath, and it's a goalkeeping error, isn't it?
I'm afraid it is, by a man who's played so well recently. But what it means now is that Bayern Munich have a 3-1 aggregate advantage. They have an away goal, and Forest have now got to score 2 even to force extra time. It's in again from the number 6 Herzog, and they would need 3 now, Forest, to win the tie outright. That's the size of the task when the away team scores first in a situation like this. Christian Ziege, who scored on Saturday in the league game and is reputed to get his fair share from that wing-back position, but that was a free kick. It didn't seem of any great momentum that found the corner of Crossley's net, and here's Ziege again. And the ground has suddenly gone rather quiet, apart of course from the 2,000 German supporters who've got just what they wanted. Half an hour gone, most of it spent deep in defence by Bayern Munich, but their first telling free kick, and they score. Bart Williams to Campbell. Now Stone. Little. Gets a second chance to clear. Williams figuring in the midfield build-up, as was Roy. This is Chettle. Now David Phillips with space in front of him. Finds Wone. Babel for Bayern. Double the size of the task facing the English club effectively. This is the goal scorer, Ziege. Now Klinsmann. Out to Strunz. Pearce has to come right across to face him, and he's been beaten. Herzog. Oh, and that tested Crossley too.
Well, it's just been a lull, hasn't there, in the momentum now. You just had that nagging feeling those chances were going in the penalty area. They couldn't put one of them away. And wondered to see it so often, don't you, when the other side go up the other end and then put a goal away. And now it's a test of real character for Forest.
There was some careless play by Sforza there. It's put Bayern back on their heels. This is Kevin Campbell with Helmer, the marker. Bart Williams. Stone. Phillips is square, and even squarer is Little. Curled in towards Campbell here. Oh, good header out. Babel. Corner again to Forrest. Phillips will go across to take it. That will bring the central defenders forward again.
Frank Clark, they're just talking to Alan Hill. Probably thinking to himself, oh, how are we losing this 1-0?
Well, they had high hopes of corner kicks, and here's another one. Again, Cooper's run-in was blocked by a white shirt. Here's Little. And there, oh, Cooper's there this time. But the flag is up. The flag is up from the linesman on the near side. Chettle headed it on. Cooper put it in the net, but offside given. It's a good cross. Steve Chettle gets a good header on this now then. Is he offside? Well, perhaps Campbell, perhaps Cooper, but either way it's no goal.
Well, it's Campbell who's offside. Colin Cooper, I think at worst was level, so he was fine. So the argument could be, was he interfering with play, Campbell? I suppose in front of the goalkeeper, most people would say yes, but again, just not going for Forrest, because Cooper who put the ball in the net, I don't think was offside.
Crosses again, troubling Bayern Munich. Forrest has got to keep slinging them in. This is Bart Williams to Wone. And now Stone. That was a good tackle by Struntz. And Scholl. Big fear for Forrest. No choice really now but to throw, not everything, but a great deal of their weight forward. They've got a guard against the second goal by Bayern Munich. Here's Scholl. Yeah, that was rather hard lines on Cooper, wasn't it, if Campbell was the man flagged, which I suspect you're right, he was. Although both were in the area right in front of the goalkeeper, so I suppose the linesman was justified. This is Sforza. Showed again, though, didn't it, the threat that Chettle and Cooper pose when they go forward for crosses. But sadly, from an English point of view, it doesn't change the situation, which you see there with 10 minutes remaining in the first half of this second leg. The Germans have a 3-1 aggregate lead.
Yes, there's 2 goals to be scored in 55 minutes, so don't press the panic button yet a while. And definitely the route to get to it is those crosses, isn't it? Because they're winning everything in the air.
So Struntz is over-elaborated, and it's forward by Phillips, but not the pass that Brian Roy was looking for. An easy interception for a relieved Mateus. Now look at this, Ziege again, and look at Klinsmann. He's found Scholl, and this is Papin. 2 waiting in the middle. Oh, Colin Cooper's header straight to Klinsmann. And still in play. That was Herzog. That's a foul again. Right on the edge of the area. The number 7, Scholl, was the player who was fouled. Bart Williams diving in a bit.
Well, he's diving in a bit here, Des Little, but I think he's looking for it, isn't he? It hardly touches him. I mean, he makes first contact, then he rolls over in front of the ref, and this is even in a more dangerous position than the actual goal scored. And Ziege, I'm sure, will be tempted again, although Scholl, we saw in the first leg with his right foot, and either of them can take that in the middle of the goal.
Well, Scholl is the man who's put the ball down, and he's coming in from this side. Number 7. Oh! Makes you tremble a bit when you saw the first one go in, doesn't it?
They hit that one better than Ziege did in the middle of the goal. You think, well, which side do I cover if you're the goalkeeper? And Mark Crossley in the middle, but it was always going to miss that post. You don't want to concede too many free kicks there. Scholl, having won it, probably thought, I think I'm allowed to take it now.
Here's Brian Roy, and Helmer goes with him. Well, it's a match which is revolving quite a lot round the set plays just at the moment. Wone for Forest. Stone coming in from this side. Header by Ziege onto Scholl. Little. Stone. Little's continued his run into the attack. Stone takes on Ziege. And again. And Ziege wins out this time. Phillips away from Klinsmann to Cooper. Stone. Little. Chettle. Pearce. Bart Williams. Phillips. Campbell pulling away, far side of the area. Stuart Pearce goes up to join him here. Mateus comes across. That's Wone. This is Campbell. That's Pearce.
And again, Kevin Campbell, not the most renowned of headers of the ball, but he outjumped his marker again, but couldn't quite find the second man running into the penalty area.
Well, Forest are getting their back players forward intelligently in open attacks. We've seen Chettle go forward, Pearce and Little. And Cooper, of course, the fourth member of the defence, was the man. Oh, the yellow card being shown here. That was dissent, it would seem. And it's Jean-Pierre Papin who's been booked. And here he is now in a shooting position. Well, it appeared he was shown the yellow card by the Italian referee, but having not played in many of the previous games, he's not on the list of those players who's already been booked in this competition. But having said that, Cooper made a mistake, and the Papin of old might have punished Forest for that.
You can see how he favours his right foot, trying to hit it with the outside of the right. Sliced it though, and pretty dreadfully wide, just as well because it was a defensive lapse there. Just the odd opening for Bayern Munich, still looking for that second goal, but at the moment very much a travesty. The home side are one down.
Yes, it's been very much a smash and grab job this by the Germans, hasn't it? They've been having to protect their own shot for most of this first half. And just snatched one from behind Mark Crossley's counter there. Christian Ziege. This is Helmer. Herzog and Klinsmann combining, but the return pass goes astray. This is Brian Roy. This is Wone now. Little had gone forward on this side. Here's Ziege. And Klinsmann. Well won by Strunks from Wone. Klinsmann stepped over it, but Forest have cover here. Little. Less than 5 minutes to go in the first half of this second leg. Bayern have the advantage. Bart Williams for Forest. Little. Here's Campbell. Trying to wrestle his opponent, give himself some space. Stone. They found some now. That's Phillips who plays the ball in. Brian Roy shaken off it. Protests in vain, and this is where Bayern have used the left flank cleverly. This is Sforza looking for Klinsmann, but Chettle has that all in hand. Nicely done by Klinsmann, and Papin now wide on the right, only Klinsmann in the centre, but they'll settle for the corner. The Bavarian side, who are second in the Bundesliga at present, just 1 point behind the leaders Borussia Dortmund. Babel on his way forward for this. They'll look to Helmer there, number 5, who's very dangerous at set pieces. Herzog will take it. And he's played it short. And this is Struntz. And that Struntz's shot deflected, goal! Bayern score again. The shot from Thomas Struntz. And this is bad news for Nottingham Forest. The Germans have a 4-1 aggregate lead, and it looked again a rather soft goal. Coming really from Andy Herzog's short corner. Everybody else had packed into the area. Bit of a surprise the way he pulled it back from a Forest point of view. Look at this, it's Struntz who makes the space here, fires in the shot, and that may have just caught. Cooper did it, and it flew away from Crossley into the far corner.
It was Colin Cooper's foot. You just see it just clip the heel. Ian Wone is standing in front of Mark Crossley as well, so he wouldn't have seen it till it's almost gone past him. I mean, definitely silence now, apart from, of course, the Bayern Munich supporters who are cheering. I mean, desperately unlucky for Forest. They could see the second goal now before half-time.
Well, we now cannot have extra time, that's for certain. And Bayern Munich 4-1 on aggregate. So Forest need, Frank Clark will be well aware, to score 3 times now to actually level the tie. At 4-4, but in that case Bayern would still go through because they have 2 away goals to Forest 1, so it's an almost impossible task for Forest.
Well, to ask to get 4 goals now is, I think, beyond any side.
Yes, just emphasise they need 4, Nottingham Forest. Here's Little. And they haven't been classic goals by any means, have they?
Well, it's been such an anticlimax because Forest have probably played one of the best 45 minutes of the whole European campaign, but have conceded 2 very soft goals and find themselves now, well, just amounted to scale.
Jimmy Hill made the point that Bayern Munich have scored freely in their European games, and they'll be mighty pleased to get 2 in the first half here. This is probably beyond their greatest expectations, the Germans. Just sitting in there, trying to absorb what Forest were throwing at them for, what, half an hour or so. And now they have another corner. Herzog, who took the one that led to the second goal, is placing the ball again. Helmer has come forward on the far side. Klinsmann's in there, of course, and Babel.
Numan. Cocu. Heeft gekeken of Jonk achterbleef, die deed dat. Dus ging Cocu op avontuur. Vink. Niels, ineens, prachtig, al wel naast. Wat is het toch schitterend dat je die bal ineens zo kunt pakken. Zo uit de lucht. Hadji. Niels. Vink. Vink, ja. Vink en Busquets. Soms zie je het verschil niet wanneer ineens een ploeg met 10 man staat. Hier zie je het verschil heel duidelijk in het voordeel van PSV. Zenden, bal buiten, ingooi. Ferrer snakt naar adem. Zoals een hele ploeg. Maar dat gaat even fout bij Zenden. Ferrer. Numan, Niels, Zenden. Heikelkamp. Cocu weer. Goedjesson had hem in de voeten gewild. Alles is nu voor PSV. Jong. Numan. Goedjesson. Numan speelt weer zoals vroeger toen hij middenvelder was. Overtreding Zenden. Houdt zijn arm heel ongelukkig. ...2-2 van 14 dagen geleden, 2-2 nu. Dus voorlopig is dit allemaal onbeslist. Vrije trap tegen Jong. Nieuwe wissel. Figo wordt eruit gehaald, is ook niet gelukkig. Celades komt erin. Daar is een vrije trap van Hadji. Celades lijkt vooral als taak te krijgen om Numan af te stoppen. Want hij gaat aan die kant spelen. Waar Numan de laatste minuten flinke rushes heeft ondernomen. Zenden. Of Klomp. Jong. Klomp weer. Cocu. Zenden. Heikelkamp. Jong. Zenden. Zenden, Cocu. Vink aan de andere kant vrij. Hoger had hij dan gemoeten. En Cocu krijgt alle ruimte om te gaan. Ook al omdat Wim Jong vorige week een paar dagen grieperig is geweest en duidelijk niet de kracht heeft om helemaal tot aan het randje te gaan. Jong wel bij de hoekschop. Het Zenden dichtbij. En Numans kopbal. Zo moeten er toch nog meer kansen komen, zou je zeggen. Jong. Gewoon de laatste man. En Cocu de draver daarvoor. Jong. Gevaarlijk spel. Barcelona, vrije trap PSV. Vrije trap, Jong. Duwen van Senden. En zo valt de opwinding nu enigszins van de wedstrijd af. Alsof iedereen zich nu realiseert hoe we ervoor staan. 2 keer 2-2 en nog een kwartier te spelen. 11 tegen 10. Beste kansen dus voor PSV. Heikelkamp wil. Jonk heeft de paas niet. En Barcelona heeft de macht nog niet. Hier gooit Niels. Goedjonsson. Numan. Jong. Heikelkamp. En weer een paas die dus niet zuiver is. Waterreus helpt een handje.
And Newcastle can't wait to give it back to Ginola and play on that. Batty. Ginola again, Potts again. And he's on his way here, I think. Somebody else is going to have to deal with Ginola now, because Steve Potts is looking at his second yellow card inside a minute. He may even have got a foot on the ball, but it was a rash tackle at best. Here goes Ferdinand. It's a perfect pass. Seeley stood up to him. It won't quite happen for Les Ferdinand. It's all happening around Les Seeley. Away by Howie. Kept in by Ginola. Steve Howie was caught there by Dowie. Play goes on. Beers is found Asprilla. He's onside here. And Newcastle are 2 up. Expert finish. Extravagantly celebrated. It's Faustino Asprilla's first at St James's Park. Oh, if he was onside, it wasn't by much. But if there was any doubt over that, there was no doubt over the finish. That was a specialist at work. Now Asprilla. It's Dix to the rescue. The siege continues. No respite. That's Howie. That's Asprilla, that's Ferdinand, and that is 3-0. There is only so much punishment any defence can absorb. West Ham, helpless victims of a supreme Newcastle display. It's been champion stuff from the very first whistle.
Newcastle back on top. Look out for those FA Cup quarter-final replays on Sports Night tomorrow night. Wimbledon.
Hier gaat Sergi. Hier loopt vooral Cocu hard. Sergi. Waterreus. Sergi. Sergi nog altijd in nauw. Ja. Oh, PSV. Oh, PSV. 3-2 voor Barcelona. 12 minuten voor tijd. Want nu moet PSV 2 keer scoren. Wat een break van Sergi. Wat een rust en een kalmte uiteindelijk ook bij het afmaken. Eerst Waterreus goed, dan een nieuwe kans. En volop kalmte bij Sergi. En dan verwoestend tegen de touwen. Verwoestend voor PSV. En het rekenen in internationaal verband is zo gemakkelijk ineens. Dan is het zo. Waarom vlagt de grensrechter trouwens? De grensrechtervlag. Al een tijdje. Oh, niet over dat doelpunt. Dat geluk is PSV niet beschoren. Het gaat over die wisselspelers die zich daar warm lopen. En die dat daar niet mogen doen.
Competition. Nottingham Forest won them all, but this looks like a change of fortune in favour of the Germans. Here's Stone for Forest. An early goal would certainly lift the crowd from a Forest angle, but Lothar Matthäus intercepted that all too easily. He's got players right and left here. Christian Ziege made another forward run, and Jürgen Klinsmann's in there, and so too here is Papin. Well, that could have made it even worse, couldn't it?
It was a wonderful break. Matthäus, I must say, has ventured forward more in this match than he did the whole of the home leg. Here he is, an extra man, 4 against 3, released it to Ziege perfectly. You're looking for the low cross. It is just behind Klinsmann, but that should be in the back of the net. Mistimed it completely, and then just coming up on the outside, just saved Crossley. But that should have been, as you say, 3. Papin missing out also alongside Klinsmann.
Ominous signs here as the Germans lead the march at the beginning of the second half. That's Scholl to Klinsmann, and then Pearce. There was no injury involved where Chiriaco Sforza was concerned. It was a straight switch by the German coach Otto Rehhagel, bringing on Nerlinger. And that's Strunz in the attack again, the man who struck the second goal via Cooper. Klinsmann, poor one. Stone. Jürgen Klinsmann was saying before the match to us that it's so important for a club of Bayern Munich stature to win one major trophy every season. It's expected of them, and they're behind Dortmund, as I said, narrowly in the Bundesliga, so the UEFA Cup is a very major target for them, and they're not going to hurry too much now. Here's Matthäus, who's won just about every honour that's going, and Papin hasn't done badly either, has he? He's found Klinsmann, but the return pass favours Chetl. Here's Herzog. Babel, who's had time to come forward also from his defensive role. Klinsmann up for the cross. This is Herzog.
Bayern Munich definitely taking the initiative at the start of the second half. Frank Clark, I'm sure, what do you say when you've got to score 4 goals? Primarily, I think, to play for pride and try and get some sort of result, whether it be the draw, and then who knows if you can get a couple of early goals. Not surprisingly, he hasn't changed the side as yet, but he's got Jason Lee on the bench, who's a big tall man who could relish and take advantage of perhaps those crosses. And of course, young Paul McGregor, who I thought has done well as a substitute on the last few weeks. So they might be the 2 options that he thinks about after perhaps the first 15 minutes.
Jason Lee exercising there as Steve Stone starts Forest moving again. Here's Phillips. Yes, they don't want to go out with a whimper, do they? Little. Stone. Thomas Helmer. Just perhaps a sign that the Germans might get a bit complacent here and there, and if they do, can Forest punish them? Not a bad run at all, that, by Little. And he's done awfully well by sheer perseverance to force a corner. Now, Forest have got a chance maybe here with Cooper and Pearce in threatening positions. Brian Roy to take. Header was by Herzog. Ziege to Scholl. Nottingham Forest have yet to score twice in any single UEFA Cup match this season, so the signs here are not good. Not when they need 4. Here's Wone. And Brian Roy starts a run here. It's Babel who is the defender, hoping it runs, but it didn't really. Strunz. Knocked over by Wone.
Bit of a careless challenge. I think Nottingham Forest have to just change their game plan a little bit because they normally like to get people goal side and break themselves, and they're starting off the second half a little bit with the same sort of approach. And I think, you know, when you're 2-0 down, they've got to push on almost 20 or 30 yards as a whole unit and try and pressurise and hem Bayern Munich back on the defensive. And at the moment, it's the Germans who have got more of the initiative.
Here's Bart Williams for Forest to Wone. And Kevin Campbell just finding the slot between two defenders there. And the cross picking out Steve Stone, perhaps. It was Little who moved into the inside left position there. This is Phillips. And in went Brian Roy. Oliver Kahn punching to safety. Here's Stone. Roy again. Helmer's with him. Not an easy man to get past, but he's certainly coming from behind there, the German number 5. And he needs to be a little bit careful because that could well be deemed to be a dangerous tackle. The referee hasn't actually shown the card. Mateus trying to calm things down a bit, but it's a free kick to Forest. Chettle's in there, so is Cooper. And Pearce is there, but I feel that was Kevin Campbell who was penalised for challenging the goalkeeper.
Pearce appealing there, but you're quite right, it was Kevin Campbell in front of him who did the foul. And a deep cross. See Kahn tempting, anticipating it's going the long one, and Campbell going up in front with his left arm right in front of the referee, and that's why Forest were penalised.
This goalkeeper tends to be a shade eccentric. I saw him sent off on one of the German channels the other week for reacting rather petulantly to a challenge.
All in all, he hasn't got too many things going for him, I don't think.
Well, certainly not from what Alan Hansen was saying, but one has to remember that at the moment tonight he's unbeaten, thanks perhaps mainly to his defenders who were strategically placed by the goalpost when Forest had their best spell. Here's Roy. Free kick. And the crowd getting restless now because so much seems to be going against the home team.
Yes, it's not been the start to the second half. I think the home supporters were hoping, 8 or 9 minutes now. They haven't threatened that much, and in fact, Bayern Munich have looked the more dangerous. And I think Frank Clark might be tempted to make the changes earlier rather than later now.
Well, he's in almost a no-win situation, isn't he? This is the last English team in Europe, and they don't look like being there for too much longer. Here's Klinsmann. That wasn't a very accurate pass from him. Pearce for Forest. He finds Wone. This is Bart Williams with the shot. He hasn't scored yet for Nottingham Forest in some 40 matches since he came here from Sheffield Wednesday.
It's a long way out, isn't it, even against Kahn, and never quite catches it. He's the holding anchor man in the Forest midfield. Usually, of course, Scott Gemmell would be the attacking player, and he's suspended this evening. That means David Phillips, who himself is perhaps more of a holding midfielder these days, so they haven't got anyone running forward from central midfield, and that again could be where just a shuffle round might be needed.
Roy, who started the game so brightly, and Campbell, who's worked solidly, but between them they haven't managed to penetrate that Bayern defence. Stone moving inside a bit now. Little flicking it on to Phillips. That's Phillips' cross. Here's Campbell. Babel wins it in the air. Then Nerlinger. Now Stone. Corner. Just clipped the feet of the Bayern player as he had the shot. And the fans hoping for something here. And one has to say again that it's been from corners that Nottingham Forest have looked at their most dangerous. Ian Wone to curl this in with his left foot. He's got Campbell facing him in the 6-yard box. Chettle just behind him. Cooper is deeper. There's Chet with a flick. Oh, that was close. Corner again, was it? Linesman said so, but referee has other ideas.
A good corner kick because it just needed the faintest of touches. Must have got a firmer header and it went at the near post. Goalkeeper isn't happy though, as it looked, he's just headed it down too firmly.
Notice Jürgen Klinsmann back there again doing his defensive duty. Now can Campbell muscle his way through here? Nearly, but not quite.
Problem in those situations though, it has to be Campbell or Roy who are picking up those loose balls. There is no one from midfield who's running from the middle, making the third and sometimes a fourth attacker, and when you're 2-0 down now, they've got to start chancing their arm that little bit.
Yes, I must say, when I've seen Forest play this season, it's noticeable that Bart Williams does play pretty deep, doesn't he? He sits in rather, and is not one of those midfield players who you find right behind the strikers. And he can go forward now because Forest have a free kick to be taken by David Phillips. Oh, now Pearce has clashed with a defender in the area. The referee may have noticed that. It's been pushed to one side to Stone for the moment. There are players unmarked in the middle here. That needed to come in early. And now a German player goes down, and Wone has the shot, but what does the referee do about that clash in there involving Stuart Pearce and the German player? There was definite impact there, and we may see it again here.
Well, Struntz is number 4, and as you see, they're just hugging each other almost, and didn't look much at all, did you? And he's staying prone on the floor, but it was almost as if he was trying to balk Stuart Pearce's run. What Stuart Pearce made of it, I don't know, but Struntz seems to have come off worse.
Well, the Germans are making one or two gestures with their elbows. I would have thought that looked more like a push to me.
There was nothing obvious in it at all which would justify him being quite flat out, such as this. Stuart Pearce looks in pretty fine fettle, and I've got a feeling Struntz will come back onto the pitch fairly quickly. Look, he's got his arm round his waist. Stuart Pearce is saying, no thanks, I don't want to dance yet a while, and he's just pushed him away, and quite frankly, nothing in that at all.
No, unless something happened when Pearce had his back to us as he turned that we didn't quite see, but anyway, Struntz is off for the moment, receiving attention. Bayern Munich are down to 10 men, but they have a handsome lead in this European tie against the last English survivors. And here's Pearce in an attacking position once more. Well, the Germans are down to 10. Can Forest... Well, they perhaps can take advantage. They've got a free kick in quite dangerous territory. And with Struntz still out of the game, there'll be one less man in there to do the marking job, or perhaps to go in the wall for Oliver Kahn. Now then, Phillips pushing it square. This is Chris Bart-Williams with the shot. It's blocked, and that will cause a real race here, which Wone will win.
Just as well, wasn't it? That was careless play. I mean, you've got to have one person back just in case that ricocheted. I mean, if it had bounced kindly for Bayern Munich, they would have been away.
Yes, Matthias actually was leading the charge along with Klinsmann, but this is the injured player, Thomas Struntz, who's hobbling away behind the goal as play goes on.
Looks as if he might have stretched his groin as he twisted and fell, and that's the case. Probably Kreutzer, I would have thought, who played in the first leg, would be more of an obvious replacement. Who knows?
Well, he or perhaps Dieter Frey, who's also on the bench. And this is the said man, Dieter Frey, who's had some experience in midfield as well for Bayern. German under-21 international, and he's going to get a taste of UEFA Cup action here, because Struntz is not coming back after that clash with Stuart Pearce. And Bayern make their second substitution of the match. Just over an hour gone. Situation there for you. Bayern 2-0 up on the night, 4-1 overall. Forest in the unlikely position of having to score 4 goals to win this tie. Here's Stuart Pearce. That's a free kick given against Kevin Campbell.
bit harsh. He is a bit wide with his arms, isn't he, Kevin Cagle? But I mean, if you're Helmer, and that's the defender who tried to nip in front of him, you always take the chance of being rode round by the forward player, and I thought Campbell just held him off with his strength, but the referee saw otherwise. And so at the moment, they're still comfortably coping, aren't they?
Well, they are, and Matthias has hardly broken into a sweat yet. Here he is. That was the first substitute who came on at half-time there, number 15, Nerlinger. But Steve Stone taking them on the outside. That's good to see. Linesman is flagging, though. Well, the adventure which these supporters have enjoyed, many of them travelling across Europe to Sweden and twice to France with Forest this season, and then to Germany. It appears to be coming to a fairly rapid end at the moment. But changes, I think, afoot from Frank Clark's point of view. Here's Stuart Pearce. Oh, he's overrun it. I'm going to see Paul McGregor in a moment. Little making progress down the right. Fine Stone. David Phillips makes a forward run now. Here he is. That's Phillips' cross. It's aimed towards Campbell here, and it might come to Brian Roy, or even to Wone, or to Roy again, and to Wone again. The block is by Babel, and the ball bounces kindly for Christian Ziege, who promptly gives it away. Careless by the Germans that. They had possession. This is Roy. Wone. Oh, good ball. Brian Roy driven a bit wide by his first touch. But he's got past Babel. And sadly couldn't pull the ball back.
It was unlucky. Intricate build-up play. A bit over-elaborate, but in the end, just pushed wide. And there's the two substitutions, perhaps to add a little bit of extra cutting edge. Jason Lee, the number 14, big striker, should win most balls in the air, like his compatriots. And Paul McGregor, I think, has done very, very well since coming on. Chris Park-Williams, one of those, what, me? But I think possibly it's going to be Steve Stone then pushed more into that central midfield position, and hopefully will run forward all the time from there. And young McGregor will go out wide on the right and replace him. And of course Jason Lee straight down the middle, a direct replacement for Campbell.
Yes, as you said, it's Park-Williams and Campbell who have been pulled off. Lee and McGregor are on, so it's two substitutes per team at the moment on the field. They're allowed 3 nowadays. Dieter Fry, one of the replacements for Bayern, to the other one, Nerlinger. Now, good play by Hetzel. Fry again. This is Scholl. And Fry. Klinsmann in the centre, so is Papin. Cooper gets a touch, not a very good one. This is Scholl. And Jürgen Klinsmann comes in for the header. And it's off the line, and Klinsmann, it's in! Oh, he scores in every game. Oh, this is some UEFA Cup for Jürgen Klinsmann. He can do no wrong. It's his 13th goal in 8 UEFA games. And the man who did so much for Tottenham last season, so much in fact that he won the Football Writers' Award as our Player of the Year, stamps his mark on this match as well. Forest were a bit careless when that ball was given away. As the cross comes in, initially Klinsmann, look at the leap, gets so much height there. Chettle it was who cleared it alongside Cooper. Crossley still picking himself up, but Klinsmann loves those, the acrobatics and the perfect finish.
Yes, the finish was one for the photographers, wasn't it, really? I mean, you know, the substitutions I think were the right ones, but of course while they're just settling down, there's a little bit of lack of concentration. Scholl did very well down the right-hand side, that hanging cross. There's Little, quite small as a fullback. Klinsmann finding him at the far post. He hangs so well. And Cooper and Chettle just getting in each other's way, but there's an example for any youngster. Shoulder sideways on and head it volley it through the ball, keep it down. Otherwise, of course, it's just going to, if you're leaning back, go over the crossbar. Never any question that he was going to knock that down and put it in the back of the net.
And the only postscript I can add to that, Mr. Brooking, is that Forest now need 5 goals, strictly speaking.
Yes, I'm sure they'll be delighted to hear that. But more than anything, they've just got to try and get forward and create some chances this second half. I think Bayern have defended very well and haven't given them many openings, and have counter-attacked very well. And they've had 2 or 3 opportunities. Klinsmann tucking away that third, but let's see if they can just get that little bit of pride back, because at the moment it's hard for us to be sitting up there and saying what they should be doing when you're 3-0 down and knowing you need 5 goals. That's going to numb anyone.
Jason Lee has just come on, and he's linking up in the penalty spot area now with Steve Stone, both waiting for a forward ball. This is Phillips first off, and now it's Little, and now Stone. Crossed by McGregor, and no doubt McGregor playing wide will mean that Stone can spend more time, as you said, in the central position. But it's all something of an academic formality now, really, for Forest in this UEFA Cup, because Klinsmann here appears to have, not that there was any doubt really, but he seems to have put this tie absolutely beyond their reach. And look at this break again now. Cooper having to go across.
Look how many numbers were forward, 5 or 6. When they decide to go forward, they go forward and really look as if they want to score. Nottingham Forest, I just felt, had 2 or 3, but it was always against 5 or 6 defenders and never quite threatened them, certainly since that opening half an hour, where, of course, they did have several chances, and that's, of course, the turning point of the game. The difference is that at this level, you've got to put those chances away.
There's Lee. Touch on was by Brian Roy, Thomas Helmer, and Bayern are strolling it now. And this is Mehmet Scholl. You don't want him running at you when you're in this position, because Klinsmann's gone to the left, taking a defender with him, and that was the man who came in, Papin. But out of the picture as Scholl came forward. Klinsmann's so unselfish, but so intelligent. He is, isn't he, the complete player. And a lesson too, in that he works non-stop also. And just speaks 4 languages as an incidental aside. Here's McGregor. Roy to Lee. And Pearce has found Woan with one that might have just jumped up off the pitch at Oliver Kahn.
Nasty one. I mean, he strikes the ball superbly, doesn't he, with that left foot here, Woan. Given just the opportunity, stop it, and then just bounces in front of Oliver Kahn, and just for once, right into his chest, his body behind it.
Well, I suppose we should have guessed that yeah, Klinsmann might have scored in both matches against the English opponents, and he has. And Forest now just left to try and salvage some pride. That's Little. Jimmy Hill read the tea leaves, didn't he? Looking at Bayern's UEFA Cup record before the match, they do have a good scoring performance in all their previous ties. The Benfica match notably. Oh dear, we've got another injury here, I think.
There's Little, it's more like a pull as well, which is going to be a blow. But no, I mean, they were 1-0 down in the opening round. They lost the home leg and then went against Lokomotiv, didn't they? Scored 5 away from home, and to get that many goals against the quality of Benfica, they've won all 3 away legs, and here they are again.
Well, Kudel just saw enough of that. Had the ball had a bit more pace on it, Herzog would have been through. Yes, Wraith Rovers were among one of their earlier victims, weren't they? Gave them a good game in Scotland, as I recall. And slid inside here to Ian Woan, but it's all breaking down now for Nottingham Forest. German supporters, 2,000 of them over from Munich, thoroughly enjoying their evening in Nottingham. 3-0 on the night, 5-1 on aggregate. Very emphatic and conclusive. This is David Phillips. But quite where Forest go from here. In this attack, or indeed metaphorically, I'm not entirely sure. They've come up against a team here that are high on confidence now. But Brian Roy gets a cross in. German teams tend to thrive on situations like this. They know that if they just get possession in this area of the field, and Forest have overcommitted, there's going to be a spare man. There's Papin. We haven't seen all that much of Papin, really, but I don't suppose anybody on the German side will be complaining.
Well, they're going to keep possession for these last 18 minutes, aren't they? They do it so well, and that's why Forest, I think, have to push up and just try and harass them, otherwise they're going to get cut open.
And Klinsmann with an extravagant pass here to Fry. Ball curled in. There's the header. Oh, it's another one. Jean-Pierre Papin has made his impact. Happy man. And he scores with a well-placed header, the Frenchman. The former European Player of the Year getting in on the act. And Dieter Fry, the young substitute, made this goal with a well-judged cross from the right-hand side. Now, Papin first to it. In fact, they had 2 against 1 there, the Germans. That wasn't good defending, was it?
No, I trust you to upset Jean-Pierre Papin, you see. Comes on and thinks, right, I'll head one in. And 2 against 1, as you say. It was a wonderful build-up, wasn't it, by Bayern Munich. And I mentioned that 5-0 away victory against Lokomotiv. Who's to say they won't get it again this evening?
Yes, it's getting rather embarrassing now for Forest, isn't it? Alf-Inge Haaland has come on. Des Little is the man he has replaced at right back. And this was Jurgen Klinsmann starting the move yet again. A lovely sweeping pass with the outside of the foot. A simple enough ball in and a good firm header. And even though the Forest defender was outnumbered by 2 Germans. 6-1 on aggregate.
You mentioned they were outnumbered in the penalty area. There were 4 options for that cross for Fry, and that is the difference, I think, in the 2 sides. Certainly since that opening half an hour, when they do go forward, they do go forward in strength, and so there is plenty of attacking options. Nottingham Forest, I just felt, have relied on the front 2 too often, particularly in this second half.
There could be a few red faces as well as red shirts here, you know, because they came back from Munich saying that 1 or 2 of the players, and indeed other people, saying that Bayern weren't what they're cracked up to be. Well, I don't know about that. They're winning 4-0 away from home. And certainly they played a lot better tonight, the Germans, than they did in their own stadium. Phillips with the cross. Jason Lee jumping. And, oh, Roy got there before Kahn. Babel has to clear. Lee again. And here's a chance perhaps for Stone. No. Cover finally arriving. Lee again. It's Pearce swinging in the cross. And the header down finds Steve Stone, should score, and didn't. Oliver Kahn makes his first save of the night, virtually. Certainly from that sort of distance, from Steve Stone.
I think Steve Stone was surprised to get the knockdown here, all by himself. Well-controlled header, wasn't it, by Wonen, straight at Oliver Kahn. Should have done better, and just the home supporter, I think, deserved at least the 1 goal, because Forest, in that opening half an hour, that's when they should have scored.
Here comes Lee, and Kahn in front. Just doing enough to put him off. Desmond Lynham said at the start, didn't he, if we get a glut of goals, we'll just have to put up with it, with his tongue in his cheek. Well, I don't think he thought they were all going to come from the Germans, but Jason Lee just gets a touch on that, but the goalkeeper doing just about enough. I think you've got a good price against this score tonight. Wone. Now, I think there's another surprise tonight in the UEFA Cup, from what I'm being told. understand that AC Milan have lost 3-0 in Bordeaux, having won the first leg 2-0, so they've gone out, the Italians, on a 3-2 aggregate to the French team, which really is a surprise. Having said that, Barcelona are through. They've defeated PSV Eindhoven 3-2 in Holland, so we know that Bordeaux and Barcelona and Bayern Munich are through to the semi-finals of the UEFA Cup. Now then, is there anything left for Forest to salvage in this rather sad evening now? It's Brian Roy. The performance for the first 25 minutes was so encouraging, Forest, but just look at the way the Germans have taken hold of this game. This is Andy Herzog, the Austrian, who will get a free kick against Colin Cooper. When English clubs keep talking about getting more places in Europe, or UEFA keep talking about it, we shall need to do rather better than we've done this season to justify them, I must say. This is the last surviving English team, and they're going out at the moment on an aggregate of 6-1. This is where it all started, isn't it? A free kick with Ziege lining up with his left foot here. Mateus in the picture, but Ziege's just to his right. And that's his shot again. And Crossley will be relieved to see that one go wide.
Well, that was a much better free kick. Put it the other side to the actual goal. And not sure Mark Crossley would have got to this if it... Look, it's just thinking about going to the left. It's always a bit too high. I don't think it was too concerned, but it was a better strike. I think it's worth thinking of, of course, Euro 96 looming. It's the clinical finishing, isn't it, at this level? I think that's just something that England and Scotland in particular in that Euro 96 have got to think about. The difference between them doing well in that championship is the ability, when you do get the chances, you have to put them away. Cost Forest, they didn't do that, and Bayern Munich had punished them clinically themselves.
And no one more clinical than Jurgen Klinsmann. Scored in the first match and again tonight, and a terrific record in this competition. That's his back heel there, which didn't quite find Scholl. And it's given Forest a man over here. This is Steve Stone. McGregor's gone through the middle. Stone forced to check by Babel, but Haaland was backing up for Forest. Here's McGregor. Stone, Wone, and this is Roy. Lee in the centre, Pearce up there as well, but Germans had plenty of white shirts around him, and they've got plenty upfield now. Look at this again. The break is by the number 3 Ziege over on the left, but Jurgen Klinsmann's through and the linesman's waved him on, and Klinsmann goes round the goalkeeper, and this is rapidly becoming his tournament, never mind his match. It looks so easy, and Forest can only look on in admiration and deflation.
Wonderful counter. Look at Ziege outside. He's the one then who pulls Cooper a bit wide, leaves the opening for the ball through the 2 central defenders. Such good balance, takes it wide. Crossley can't afford to bring him down, but it was a wonderful break. And Ziege, the left back, they're 4 up, and he's still galloping forward to help make the extra attacker.
Comes Oliver Kreutzer to replace Thomas Helmer in defence. That's merely academic at this stage, because Bayern Munich have a runaway victory here now. It's a rout, you can't say anything else. And any suggestion that English clubs still have a slight psychological advantage over Germans has been wiped away completely here. And Jurgen Klinsmann straight through the middle, linesman's flag stayed down, round Mark Crossley, his 2nd of the match and his 3rd of the tie. And just for the record, his 14th goal in 8 UEFA Cup matches. Pearce's cross for Forest, in comes Lee here, and McGregor can hook it back in. The referee's already blown. He's already blown for a foul on the goalkeeper. So twice Forest have had the ball in the net, McGregor then, but neither has been allowed. It's a cross by Pearce here. Lee goes in the opinion of the referee, fouls the goalkeeper, and he was standing offside anyway when that went in the net.
I don't think the challenge was a foul. Might have given the defender a little nudge, but nothing on Oliver Kahn, who again didn't deal with the cross. And Paul McGregor knocked it in, but I think Lee would have been flagged offside, although he needn't have touched it because it was on its way in. But that sums up the evening, I think, up to now.
Well, what does sum up the evening is the score. Nottingham Forest 0, Bayern Munich 5, 7-1 on aggregate, and it could get worse yet. This is worse for Forest, I mean by that. Fry, operating on this right-hand side, has done some damage since he came on. But Forest now with Alf-Inge Haaland. McGregor to his right, Roy making a run through the centre. Well, you'd want them to bow out of Europe with a goal at least, wouldn't you, Nottingham Forest? But he knows now that the game is well and truly up, and has been really since Bayern Munich snatched those two softish goals in the first half that took them beyond Forest's reach. And look at Papin now. Scholl is to his right, Cooper gets a foot in.
Well, they've just lost discipline now, haven't they? Nottingham Forest getting stretched all over the place. And you know, it's a great lesson from a very experienced Bayern Munich side. Interesting tactically, because you have to say that they played much more positively away from home, Bayern Munich, and it's been their whole, I think, approach in the campaign. The away matches, they do definitely seem to go for the away goals, whereas at home they were far more lethargic as an attacking force.
Well, we made this point, didn't we, earlier in the season, that it's the away goal now that seems to be so often decisive. But here's Brian Roy, he's got McGregor outside him. Chance for Forest, he's gone a little bit wide and forces a corner. And news coming in that Brian Robson's Middlesbrough have gained a valuable point in their attempt to stay clear of the relegation melee in the Premiership. Aston Villa 0, Middlesbrough 0 at Villa Park. Villa perhaps with one eye on Sunday's Coca-Cola Cup final against Leeds. And back here at Nottingham, it's a corner to Forest. Lee waiting. Plenty of height on that, and that was Jason Lee. And this is Pearce volleying it back out to the corner kicker, who was Wone. McGregor. Phillips. And two tired legs in there now. Steve Stone. Lee. Forced to go round the long way. Pearce back into Stone. Well, there were three Forest players there and only one defender, and the defender won it. It was Ziga. Now Mateus called into action. Well, Klinsmann, oh, Papin, three up with him, Klinsmann, Scholl. Klinsmann looking for a hat-trick now, and none too pleased with the fact that ball didn't come back in. Brian Roy. McGregor. Stone. Oh, he's got it back beautifully from Lee, and Steve Stone scores. A consolation for Nottingham Forest at the end of a disappointing night. Steve Stone made it, scored it, took it well.
This is the difference if you've got a central midfielder who can run and get beyond the forwards. Here he is, gets the ball, knocks it, and goes for the return, and that hasn't happened for most of the European campaign. Took it very well, then kept it low, and well done to the Nottingham Forest supporters, as well as a few olays going on as they kept possession there, and it lifted the team. There's no question they deserve a goal, didn't they? A little nutmeg, wasn't it, through the legs of Oliver Kahn, but it's all a secondary importance, but I think a little consolation at least.
Well, Lothar Matthäus has had plenty of things to say about other people this week. Went running across to the bench when that goal was scored, and delivered quite a volley to somebody there. That's McGregor, who's left Kreutzer on the ground. Just to refresh your memory as to how this all developed. Forest started tonight on aggregate 2-1 down. They're now 7-2 down in the tie, trailing in this second leg by 5 goals to 1. And Bayern, who wobbled a bit at the start, have produced what in the end has to be seen as a complete performance. Forest, I'm afraid, somewhat short of that. This is Lee. And again, Stone. Every pass being cheered, somewhat ironically. But good cross, and at least they're going the distance here, Forest. It's back in by Roy. Jason Lee is there, goalkeeper coming, and Stone can head it back in here. Half a touch from Lee. There's an offside flag up anyway. And I think it's about time we had the Trevor Brookings summary of this tie overall.
The old treadmill could be used by one or two of their supporters, couldn't they? But I don't think they've got any concerns this evening, because it's been an outstanding performance. As you say, first half an hour, Nottingham Forest looked as if they were doing everything right, couldn't quite convert the chances and put the ball in the net. Soft goal conceded from the free kick, and then the tie started slipping away. Bayern grew in confidence, and then some wonderful breaks out of defence has stretched the Forest defence, and really the 5-1 scoreline then sums it all up, doesn't it? A harsh lesson for them, and a harsh lesson still for the English game, that we've got a lot of progress still to be made at European club level.
You can say that again, but what a pleasure it's been to see Jürgen Klinsmann again on an English ground, and he hasn't let down his many admirers, has he? Just a couple of minutes to be played out now in this quarter-final of the UEFA Cup. Bayern go on to the semi-final among the big boys, and Forest follow the other English teams who started out with high hopes in the UEFA Cup. Liverpool, Leeds, Manchester United. And Forest survived longer than they did, but they've met with opposition tonight that has outclassed them. In it goes from Haaland, out it comes from Babel. Germans, who started tonight, seems a long time ago now, playing with a bit of a stutter, have ended playing with a swagger.
And I think with a few internationals in their team, it's important to emphasise that Euro '96, the Germans look as if they'll be just as formidable as ever.
Well, there are matches, of course, being played here at Nottingham, the Denmark-Croatia group. The Germans will be up at Old Trafford, but they will be a formidable force again. There can be no doubt about that. Strangely, not that many Bayern players are in the first-choice German side at the moment, but you can be sure you'll see Klinsmann and Helmer and Ziege. Matthias, incidentally, has been invited to have lunch with the squad next week when they assemble for the next international, but not to train with them. He's just been invited as a guest by 30 votes.
He won't be sitting next to Jürgen Klinsmann either.
He certainly won't, but they will both be playing in the semi-finals of the UEFA Cup. Klinsmann stamps his authority all over another European match, and Bayern go off to resounding applause from their own supporters. 5-1 winners here at the City Ground, 7-2 on aggregate.
Where both sets of players and the staff can be seen in turn-of-the-century style. I wonder just how many faces you recognise from that picture. And where the photographers have also managed to persuade two of the men of today, Arsenal manager George Graham on the right and Tottenham's David Pleat, to dress up in that old-fashioned way. So, in every sense, quite an occasion. And our commentator at White Hart Lane is John Motson, assisted by Bobby Charlton.
Spurs team news shows that Steve Hodge is injured and won't be playing. Ozzy Ardiles is back at number 4. Tony Galvin at number 11 after scoring as a sub on Thursday, and Nico Klaassen the substitute. Arsenal keep the team that beat Wimbledon on Thursday. Graham Rix back in the first team picture as substitute, but that team has just set a new club record of